Welcome inside Robbinsdale Armstrong High School, where tonight the host Falcons welcome the Minneapolis Washburn Millers to town for a non-conference weekday matchup. Good evening, everyone. I'm Bill Hupp, alongside former Park Center head coach Patty Sorensen. And Patty, the Millers come into this game having lost 3 straight by 5 points or fewer. They start 3 freshmen, and that inexperience is showing in those close losses lately.
Well, it is, but like Coach said when we were talking to him, he said, these kids have grown. They've gotten a lot of experience last year. They're getting more experience this year. So, those 3 freshmen are maturing, and they're learning to get a lot of options and opportunities.
Meanwhile, Robbinsdale Armstrong, talking to their head coach Antoine Easley before the game, he felt like they're starting to turn a corner the way they've played the last 3 weeks.
Yeah, he's looking for them to be more consistent. They've got a lot of talent, McGowan inside, and he's feeling more comfortable with where he's seen them progress.
Robbinsdale Armstrong won this game by 57 points last year. Minneapolis Washburn hoping for a better showing tonight. We'll have this game straight ahead for you on CCX Sports.
CCX Media, your source for great local programming, is now available on Roku and Apple TV. Our free app allows you to stream all 3 of our channels live. You'll also have access to a large on-demand library, including daily newscasts and full sporting events. To find the app, go to the store and search CCX and download our free app. Then sit back and enjoy all of your favorite local content. Now available on Roku and Apple TV.
Back here at Armstrong High School, ahead of the tip-off tonight between Robbinsdale Armstrong and Minneapolis Washburn, let's welcome in the 3rd member of our broadcast crew, Allie Mosley.
Hey, Bill, there are just a few games left in the regular season, and with that comes those late-season injury woes. The big dagger tonight going to Minneapolis Washburn, who's going to be without their leading scorer in junior Maya Stevens. She averages 14 points per game, but last Monday she broke her nose just 4 minutes into their game. So tonight, expect to see freshman Olivia Moss starting in her absence. Over on the Armstrong side, it'll be a game-time decision on the start for junior Maddie Fonda, who injured her leg in practice last week. They're going to see how it feels in warm-ups and kind of gauge from there how much floor time she's going to see here tonight. Bill and Patty, it was this matchup last year that Armstrong absolutely whomped Minneapolis Washburn by 57 points. Coach Easley credited a quick start and high-pressure defense to the success in that dominant performance, something you can be sure he's looking to do here again tonight.
Thanks, Allie. And Allie will be having coaches' interviews at halftime and other nuggets throughout the game as the starting lineups are being introduced here tonight for Minneapolis Washburn. The Millers start 3 freshmen, Patty Sorensen, and that can show sometimes, but it's a good learning experience for this team as we take a look at tonight's starters. Olivia Moss and Reese Jorgensen at the guards, Sophia Ordaz, Ella Larson, and Maddie Hopkins starting forward positions for the Millers. And meanwhile, it'll be Malena Dilly-Starks, Karlee Fisher, Madison Fondau, Lauren Jones, and Savannah McGowan in the middle. Savannah McGowan, the All-Stater, averaging better than 18 points and nearly 12 rebounds a game.
She's really been fun to watch. She has matured and grown, and her game just keeps getting better and better, and it's going to be fun to see what she does at the next level.
You just saw Coach Justin Tim in his first season in charge of Minneapolis Washburn. And Patty, let me ask you, what are the challenges that come with being a first-time head coach and a first-year head coach in a new program?
Well, I think some of the things is establishing your culture. Taking, when we talked with him, there's some things he liked that was done before because he was an assistant last year and some of his own. And I think that's important. I always had a good old saying, if it's not broken, why are you going to change it? So there's some of that challenges. But for him, he just wants to build the culture, build the team unity, get his plays in, and get the kids to understand what he wants to accomplish.
On the other side of the coin, Antoine Easley in his 18th season in charge of this Robbinsdale Armstrong program. And certainly he's been through the ringer. He's seen a lot of games, and you can tell just talking to him, he's very calm and confident and likes what he sees as Fisher steals the initial pass. Karlee Fisher leads the team in steals, and the first turnover of the game forced by Armstrong. Swung to the far side for Fondow. Down low for McGowan. Missed the bunny.
You know, that's one of the things the Millers want to accomplish tonight, as they talked a lot about it, is they know McGowan's going to get her points. They're going to defend her many different ways, but the key he wants to see is his kids do a better job on rebounding.
Neither team matching up in a zone to start things as we're just underway, and the handoff pass is stolen again by Fisher. She pulls up in the lane and lays it in. Karlee Fisher off with a 2-steal, 2-point performance to start, and they'll pick up full court. And this is the kind of thing where something can snowball. It can snowball very fast. Of course, Armstrong beating Washburn last year 77-20, a score that was largely driven by turnovers, and they're again pressing full court and really hounding the Washburn ball handlers.
Well, and there's the other advantage, too, as far as for Armstrong. A lot of these girls have played together for a long time. McGowan's been here for 6 years. You know, and so that unity, and they already know and are reading where these young ladies for Washburn are kind of getting to know each other better, too, and how they all play.
McGowan blocks it, but nice job by Olivia Moss to grab the rebound and hit the short jumper. Tied at 2 in the early going. In this spacious facility here in Plymouth. Down low for McGowan underneath. She makes the catch, grabs her own rebound, and can't get the stick back. That's how she builds those rebounding numbers. Savannah McGowan going to Illinois State University next year. As you mentioned, a 6-year member of this Robbinsdale Armstrong program, and what a leader she is. That's so important when your best player is also a good leader.
Well, that is. I mean, like Coach said, she's just, you know, good person, does the things, team ball. And you look at that. You look at your kids that have been there for a while. They know what you're trying to get done, and you look at them to also nurture the younger players that, you know, are all on all teams.
Melena Dilly-Starks is hand-checked, so first foul of the game whistled on Reese Jorgensen. First team foul. One of the freshmen, along with Moss and Ordaz out there. Fonda wants a right wing 3. Hard off the glass, and we've got a foul underneath. And that looks like it's going to be going against McGowan. Battling for rebounding position. Again, they pick up full court. Patty, what can full court pressure do to a team when you do it sort of from start to finish?
You know, and if your team is a team that loves to press, they're conditioned for it. And if you're not used to seeing that press, you can cause a lot of disruptions in the offense. And, you know, you take advantage maybe of the younger kids applying the pressure on them.
Fisher swipes one again, her third steal. Bounce pass off the mark. And if Robbinsdale Armstrong was a little better with their layups, they would have a sizable lead, but they're not able to finish so far, and it's still 2-2.
Yeah, they've gotten some nice passes in there. Karlee's fed in the post a couple times and gave a nice feed coming there, and it's just, I think, just Monday night basketball game, get rid of your jitters, and let's just focus on what we do.
You know, yeah, this time of year, right, Coach, the games can come thick and fast, right, every 2 or 3 days. So.
Well, and this is where you want to see yourself climbing and reducing some of those turnovers and some of the things that you've talked about all year long. You got to figure out how to come and play cold and maybe not have the practice the night before.
Dribble drive by Fisher, who lays it up. Karlee Fisher's been the brightest spot so far with 3 steals and 4 points.
Karlee's quick. You know, Karlee's an all-around athlete. I know she's played soccer, she's run track, played basketball, and actually going off to college to play basketball up in Moorhead.
Yeah, Minnesota State Moorhead, so a couple college players on this Armstrong team. Skip pass to the corner. Back up top for Dilly-Starks, who works the offense.
You know, that's one of the things that Washburn's doing right now, because you can see Armstrong looking for McGowan, but Washburn's throwing different looks at her right now.
Yeah, as we thought they would. Nice curl by Lauren Jones to get her first basket of the game. Moss breaks the press. 3-pointer from the left wing is good for Jorgensen. So it's 6-5. as Jorgensen gets on the board. Kind of a 1-4 look underneath for McGowan. Quickly doubled on the weak side. Does it? Well, no. This isn't the NBA, Patty. No continuation here.
No, it doesn't work that way here, no.
I was getting ready to give her the and one, but instead it's a sideline out, foul on the floor. As the first substitution of the game, Margaret Mecke comes in. And you're right, they are doubling her on the catch. Fisher hesitation, bumps into Mecke. Now they refeed it to her underneath. She splits the double team and lays it in. Well, that was only going to work for so long.
Well, you know, and that's what Armstrong is going to try and take advantage of, too, is as they're doubling down on her, you've got somebody else open or a drive on the backside.
Another steal. A little shovel pass back. Fisher wants a three and rolls it in. That's a shooter's touch right there. Karlee Fisher has 7 points. Moss on the other end lays it in. Or rather, that's Jorgensen, so 5 of the 7 points for Jorgensen. Fisher, meanwhile, has 7 of the 11. Here she is into the lane, loses the dribble, dives after it, but turns it over. First turnover of the game on Armstrong. And good ball movement here, and as you see, the power dribble and the step through.
She actually almost was triple teamed on that one. She had everybody all around her, and she did a great job of splitting that defense. That's the thing that you've seen as she's matured, and her game has matured. The calmness to not panic, just control your ball. You know the move, split them and go up and score.
Fisher with another steal, her 4th. Now Fisher. The right hand layup rather is good. Karlee Fisher, 9 points in the early going. It's 13-7. You can hear the crowd mics really picking up that bench cheering as Armstrong extends its defense. 7 turnovers forced in the first 6 minutes. And another steal right here.
And that was just good, patient defense on Armstrong's part. They were just staying down, staying low, and just kept pressure on the ball.
Yep, Charlotte Percy into the game for the first time, and she is whistled for the foul. Unofficially, 4 steals already for Karlee Fisher. 8th turnover of the game, the 6th steal for the team. So, and not even necessarily when they're applying that full court pressure. Fonda, a little attempted, and then a steal back by Fisher. Anticipated well and lays it in. Into double figures already is Karlee Fisher. After her 5th steal of the game, leads to points.
And a 5-second call, I thought.
And just look at the way she read that and laid it in. 2 turnovers on Armstrong, and now they force a 5-second, the 10th turnover of the half already, and hallmarks of a young team. From the top of the key, rebound underneath. That one's going to count as Fisher go to the line. She's up to 13 here in the first half, careening toward a career high if she wants it.
Well, she's just honing in on where that basketball is, and she's letting her defense take care of and create a lot of her points right now.
Incidentally, her season high is 29 points, and she has a chance to just about have that here in the first 5.5 minutes. As Karlee Fisher, the 5'9" senior point guard, hits it. Fisher with 14 first half points, and she gets a well-deserved rest. 5 steals, 7 steals overall, 10 turnovers forced. The defense ratcheted up in this game for Armstrong. And that can lead, right? I mean, leads to unforced errors.
And that's the thing that Coach Tim is wanting to adjust and correct is the unforced errors, the things you can control, relax. But these kids are seeing pressure, and the pressure's coming at them from both ways. So
underneath, little jump hook off the mark. Too strong from Jade Peterson. 18-7 our score. 11 minutes to go in the half. Stolen again. On the other end, taking the foul, Peyton Erickson. So she'll go to the line to shoot 2. Second foul on Charlotte Percy.
You know, the quickness that Armstrong has, they'll get the steal, cause a turnover, and they are quickly down and transitioning, and Washburn's trying to catch up, which is putting them in a spot they really don't want to be in right now. But you got to credit with what Armstrong's doing.
Peyton Erickson hits one.
You know, when you talk about, Coach Tim for Washburn and a new coach and what do you want to see? One of the things I was impressed with talking to him is he said, we could be losing a lot of games, but our kids are still supporting each other and picking each other up, and that's the biggest thing. If you can have your kids buying into that and understanding we're growing, we're working our way through this, you're going to get success along the line here.
3-point attempt from the top of the key is good.
Nice.
Beautiful shot by Maddie Hopkins, one of those seniors that came out, hadn't really been playing, but talking to Coach before the game, he said, she just noticed how much kids were having fun with it, so she and Ella Larson decided to come out in their senior season.
And that says a lot. That's how you want to build a program, right? The kids that hadn't been playing that are now seniors are going, okay, this seems like fun, and we know we're going to work hard and we're going to learn and we're going to have some ups and downs, and they're coming out to play.
And that senior leadership can be invaluable as Moss tries to feed a one-hand pass. She gets it back and lines up a 3 and hits. Olivia Moss from downtown, third different Miller to hit a 3-pointer in this half.
And they're closing the gap right now. Those threes are putting them right back in where they want to be.
And quickly, the starters returning for Armstrong.
Which coach said, okay, this isn't working right now. We're going to have to make some adjustments and regroup the group that's on the floor.
Yeah, and sometimes, substitution patterns are fascinating in the game of basketball because you have so few players on the court. As you see Moss draining one from the right wing. And when you decide to bring players back, it must be somewhat instinctual and somewhat other things too.
I think it is, and it's kind of fun sometimes because it's like some of the combinations you end up putting together to work with your kids. It's like, wow, that group brought us to back in the game, and we hadn't played that group in that combination before.
Point of fact, Moss's foot was on the line, so last one was counted a 2. She'll pull up for another 2, off the mark that time. 19-12 our score with 9:20 to go in the first half. Bill Hupp, Patty Sorensen, Allie Mosley, and our entire our entire CCX crew. In fairness, I did just come from doing something on North Metro TV, so
that's fair.
Apologies for the slip of the tongue. Armstrong in the red, Washburn in the white, as Fisher goes behind the back.
I like that McGowan knew she had to kick it out. I wish she could have seen she had one of her teammates wide open at the top of the key, too.
Splitting the defense and attacking. Yeah, McGowan, it helps to be a very skilled passer out of that post when you're going to get doubled as much as she does. Trying to feed Moss down low, and it's tipped out of bounds.
And that's really going to open her up. If she can see that and she can kick when she can't make a move and still attempt to make the moves, when your team starts hitting those other shots, that's going to open you up because they can't keep everybody on you then.
Miller's nearing another 5 count. And they wisely have Ordaz go back to get it. She's having a good season, 10 points a game, 5.7 rebounds a game. Jorgensen into the lane, probing, and double dribble.
And there's where, as this team matures, she's going to see she tried and tried, but then she kept going, reverse pivot, kick it out to one of your open people off your passing lanes.
It's amazing how important players like Fisher and McGowan are to a team's success and how valuable they are. There's a nice nifty move. McGowan grabs the miss, though, and sticks it back. after Dilly Starks missed the layup. So Savannah McGowan just 4 points, but she's got a handful of rebounds as well, and she extends the lead to 9. And there's Fisher again stealing the basketball, laying it in, and missed the layup. Got ahead of myself with the and one. Karlee Fisher, her 6th steal of the half, 14th, I should say, turnover forced now by the Falcons, and just reading the passing lane, too much speed, and she goes to the line for the 2nd time tonight. She's 1 for 3 there so far, as Charlotte Percy returns with 2 fouls. Incidentally, fouls now for the team, 7 on Washburn, 1 on Armstrong.
You know, and there's the difference of different skill levels and improving and learning the game. And keeping up, I mean, with the quickness of Armstrong. You know, their quickness sometimes gets you out of position defense, and then you reach her, and that causes that foul.
22-12 our score. 1 out of 2 on that trip. Jorgensen cuts to the basket, grabs it underneath, and she'll draw personal, and she'll go to the line for the first time tonight.
I think we just needed to mention that, right? Seems
the foul disparity. You know, 7-1. Well, coaches will do that, right?
They try that, yeah.
They'll say, right? I mean,
but then you look sometimes and you look at what team's more aggressive in their style of play. And, you know, I had some teams that were prone to be that aggressive that sometimes we ended up with a few more fouls than I would liked, but
Reese Jorgensen nearly at her season average. 6 points and now 7 ties it. Nice looking free throws. And she's got 7 first half points. Pulls the Millers back with an 8. And now might we see a little zone against McGowan. They quickly double her in the post, but she spins away from it. Can't hit the bunny.
I think on that time when she turned, she used her backboard right, but she put a little more side spin on the ball, and it just went right over.
Shot from just inside. It actually turns out to be kind of a pass. Kick back out. Little mid-range jumper. Right back and laying it in. Maddie Hopkins, who leads this team in rebounds with nearly 8 a game, gets their rebound there and puts it back in, and all of a sudden the Millers are back within 6. Nice basket cut and a great job of finding the cutter as Madison found out. The 5th starter for Armstrong to get on the score sheet.
She was patient there on that. You know, she dribbled and she heard someone, she hesitated, and then went up and had a nice, easy layup.
Sophia Ordaz, first basket of the game, first points, and she averages 10 a game, so they need her offense if they hope to hang, but they're just trading baskets right now. Fondau long 3 off the back iron, tracked down in the corner, and back out to Fisher to reset the offense. Long 3 for Dilly Starks is good. Or I should say Emily Fisher, beg your pardon. I said Melania Dilly Starks, but that was Emily Fisher off the bench, hitting a 3. 3-pointers have been falling in this first half. For Robbinsdale, Armstrong gets another steal. Fisher with her sister to her left. She feeds her and finishes.
Karlee Fisher.
Karlee Fisher has been so impressive in this first half. 9 team steals.
Almost got another one right there.
29-18 our score inside of 6 minutes to play in what has been a very fast-moving first half. Of course, that's the noted broadcaster curse, but Monday night, not a traditional night for a game, but a non-conference battle sometimes does that. Nice little move inside and the left-handed finish there for Margaret Mecke.
I suppose a few teams probably had to add some Monday nights too to make up for some of those cancellations earlier on this year.
Yeah, a lot of cold and snow cancellations.
I did not like having to reschedule a game on a Monday night, to be honest.
I'm sure, yeah,
was
valuable
not-
practice time.
You know,
Plus, you just don't know the kids' focus, right?
right, you know, that you didn't practice on Sunday, and sometimes if there was a tournament in your gym on a Saturday, you didn't see them since Friday night's game. But that's also a good challenge for the kids, too, to learn how to get mentally focused and get prepared for the game.
Fisher's three is snagged by Larson. Moss across the timeline. Kind of running a 4-out, 1-in set. Another steal forced by the quick hands of Fisher. Travel on the other end, though. Just the third turnover of the half unofficially for Armstrong. 29-20 the score. As Armstrong checks Peyton Erickson into the game for the second time. She had a free throw earlier. Still have not seen Avery Purifoy, by my count, often a regular rotation player. And McGowan is going to get whistled for that personal foul, but how many players her height can guard on the perimeter like that?
Well, and that's like how they have her in the press, too. I always loved it when my post or my tallest player with the good wingspan would lead my press on the top, and she's been doing that tonight.
Second foul of the game on McGowan, so it'll be interesting to see if Antoine Easley decides to rest her the rest of the way so to avoid her picking up that third foul, but that's critical for her to not do so. A Fisher double team on the block. Ordaz leaves it short. And McGowan clears. Three-pointer splashed home by Erickson.
She just made that look too easy. It was
Yeah.
just a nice pass. She had a wide open shot.
Third three of the half for Armstrong, and they back to a 12-point lead.
There she goes again.
Yep, Fisher read that backdoor pass well. Trying to go coast to coast. Leaves it short, but grabs her own rebound. Fisher doubled in the corner, inches to get it out back out high.
Oop, block right there.
Good block. Good block indeed by Reese Jorgensen, and now Moss will walk it across. Moss gets a step. Good feed for Jorgensen in the middle, and Fisher. Or is that going to be on McGowan?
I think he's got it on. Yep, and they actually had her sub sitting on the side ready to come in.
Oh, that hurts. Savannah McGowan picking up her third personal, so she'll no doubt sit the rest of this half. And that could be a potentially big loss for the Falcons. Well, it is a big loss for the Falcons. We'll just say
It is, because it changed. Well, for Washburn, it's going to possibly change their defensive strategy there because they've been doubling and triple teaming her, and now they won't need to do that. They'll see how they adjust to her replacement. But
Washburn, or rather Armstrong, I should say, with 14 fouls, and McGowan has 3 of them. You lead it by 12 with 3 minutes to go before halftime. Nice move, pretty Euro step for Dilly Starks.
Takes it, she's driving with her right. She makes that Euro step, puts it in the left hand, and laid it up. That was very pretty.
First basket of the game for her. Moss loses it out of bounds, and she had a step on Emily Fisher, but then just lost control of the basketball.
Yeah, she made that move, and it just got a little farther out than she wanted.
As you see the nice move there by Dilly Starks. Averaging a shade over 10 points a game herself. It's a 14-point lead for Armstrong. Considering the score of this game last year, though, I'd already say Washburn feels good about it as a 3 is reined in by Emily Fisher, her second of the half.
You know, and Washburn's record is they're 10-11 right now, but they also don't play the strength of a schedule that Armstrong has to play, but they've had some wins, so that gives your young kids some confidence too.
Emily Fisher with another steal, gets it back for her sister, who hits a 3.
Gotta like those sister-to-sister plays. Ooh, almost another steal.
Yeah, that was nice. Nearly another steal.
And it is.
And they do steal it away as Fisher races end to end, leaves that one short. Three-pointer left short. And nice job following her shot by Purifoy to try, or rather by Erickson to track her rebound. Back for Karlee Fisher, puts her head down, gets to the cup and lays it in.
Nice job. Stayed with it.
42-20, and all of a sudden, it's a 22-point lead. It's a 10-0 run here for Armstrong as they start to pull away from Washburn.
You know, they were able to get some steals in there, and then they pushed the ball up the floor.
Scored this game last year was 77-20, and so progress already for Washburn. Long on that three by Moss, but Ordaz tracks it down. She's got nearly 6 rebounds a game to her credit. 33 seconds left, and I have to imagine Washburn will try to hold for one shot. As Ordaz guarded by Dilly Starks. 20 seconds left, and stolen again by Armstrong. 18 seconds to go. Erickson loses it out. Teams trading turnovers here. Fisher attacks downhill. Missed the layup. 2-1. Moss, last second shot is off the top of the backboard and no good. So the half ends with Armstrong on a 10-0 run. They pulling away and they lead it by 22 at the half. 42-20 over Washburn. But your thoughts on that first half here, Coach?
Well, you know, I think there were moments that Washburn was able to do what they wanted, but Armstrong got the consistency that they were looking for.
Down on the sidelines with Allie Mosley is with Washburn head coach Justin Tim.
Coach, when you go in and address this first half with the girls, what are you going to do to try to make some adjustments to reduce those turnovers that are happening that really kind of let the game get out of hand here?
I think the biggest thing is we just got to focus on cutting hard. We're getting in the right spots, but we're kind of jogging through to that spot, so it's hard to find an open person. And then really just be patient. Like, I think we're making the right pass, and then we kind of relax. So we just got to stay locked in the whole time.
I know you were worried about McGowan coming into the game. Now she's got a little foul trouble, but really number 24 has been making it really hard on both ends of the court for you. What do you want to do to try to contain her in the second?
I'm happy with our game plan. I mean, we've got to take something away. They're hitting some contested threes, and that's what we're going to have to give up.
What did you see in the first half that you want to bring into the second that you're pleased with?
I was really pleased with our defensive rotations. You talked about stopping 52. I thought we did a good job. We boxed out really well. It's really just offensively, how can we cut hard? How can we screen a little bit better so that we're not turning the ball over in our half-court offense?
Thanks for your time, Coach.
Thank you.
Guys.
Thanks, Allie. Thanks, Coach Tim, for his time. And, back and forth first half. Washburn was as close as 6, but Armstrong, through 21 forced turnovers, including 13 steals, has started to pull away. And they lead it 42-20 at the halftime break. We'll be back with more analysis, highlights, and more from Robbinsdale Armstrong. 42-20 our score on CCX. Bill Huff and Patty Sorensen back here at Armstrong High School, where at halftime the Falcons all over the Millers 42-20 as they look to win their third straight game and send the Millers to their fourth consecutive loss. And we take a look at the first half highlights here, and it was a defensive clinic Patty put on by the Falcons.
Yeah, Karlee Fisher just is on the game, and she's all over there defensively right now, which is leading to her offensive points, many of them.
She had 8 steals in the first half, part of a 13-steal effort. Miller's hung in. Reese Jorgensen leading the way for them with 7 points, including that 3. But Savannah McGowan with a couple baskets. She's in a bit of foul trouble. Thankfully for the Falcons, Karlee Fisher has been on tonight, whether shooting or stealing the basketball. Finishing a transition effort there, and it was as close as 6 at one point midway through the first half, but then the Falcons really turned it on, and that pressure bursts pipes, right, Patty?
Oh, it does. Yeah. You know, they've done some substitution and things, and then they brought some other people back in, and they just went right back up.
McGowan, like we said, got her 3rd foul late, but she got in the act as well. And just the unselfish nature of this team to share the basketball has led to some easy baskets, and then that beautiful Euro step to finish things. A real highlight as we take a look at the leading scores for both teams. Karlee Fisher leading all scorers with 22. Erickson and McGowan chipped in with 4. Her sister Emily, Karlee's sister Emily, with a couple threes. Jorgensen leading the way, followed by Moss and Larson for Washburn. And Washburn will look for more offense. And, you know, Allie Mosley talked about it in her pregame hit, but Maya Stevens, the sophomore, the leading scorer for this Minneapolis Washburn team, the best ball handler they have, the 2nd best rebounder. Her absence is really magnified in a game like this.
Well, I think it does. You know, when she gets hurt like that and is out of the game, you have to redo and you have to come up. But they've had someone that stepped up before and is stepping up tonight.
All right, well, we will have an interview with Antoine Aisley coming up next. Back in a second here from Armstrong.
CCX Media is the first place you go for local news and sports. But did you know you can sign up for those stories to go straight to your inbox on our website? Simply go to ccxmedia.org. Click on the subscribe button, and from there choose which notifications you want to receive. Then we'll send your favorite CCX Media news, sports, and city events straight to your inbox. Sign up now at ccxmedia.org.
Savannah McGowan and the Armstrong Falcons getting ready to go. But before that, let's throw it down to Allie Mosley on the sidelines, who's with Antoine Aisley.
Coach, with about 5.5 minutes left in the half, you guys were up by 9. Then you extend to a 22-point lead at half. What kind of transpired in those final minutes to help you guys out?
I think we were able to turn up our defense a little bit and, made some shots. That's a big thing. I thought we missed a lot of easy ones early and kind of settled down and started making some.
Turn up the defense. You guys have been stealing the ball like crazy, forcing turnovers. I know you have to like that in the first.
Yeah, I thought, girls did a great job first half of really staying in front of people, making every possession a battle. So hopefully we can continue to do that second half.
What do you want to see the team do differently in the second?
I want to see us, try to finish off some plays at the rim a little better.
Thanks for your time, Coach. Guys.
Thanks, Allie. Thanks, Coach Aisley, for his time. And, yeah, the finishing, it's hard to, after a 22-point lead at half, it's hard to be critical of much. But, yeah, they did leave some points on the board, so to speak, in the early going. But they did settle down, and led by Karlee Fisher, they really asserted themselves and looking to pick up their 9th win of the season.
Well, and I think it's key, just like Coach said, they want to finish off some things at the rim, but one of the key things for Armstrong is to come out and go, hey, it's 0-0 again. Don't look at the scoreboard. We've got to play like we're at 0-0, no letdowns.
Washburn ball out of the halftime break. They'll be moving right to left on your screen here in the second half, wearing the white, orange, and blue. Robbinsdale Armstrong in the red uniforms with the white numbers and the blue trim as we're underway. Olivia Moss, 4 points in the first half. Little give and go action. Moss with the floater is good. Nice play by Olivia Moss, and Washburn's off to a good start here in the second half.
They did a good job of coming out and just running a nice play and finishing it.
Fondau gets fouled on the baseline. Can't get it to drop, but she'll go to the line for 2. Madison Fondau was an injury doubt, Patty, before the game, but she tested it out the leg in warm-ups, injured in practice the other day, tested out in warm-ups and was ruled good to go. So she got the start, and she's played well. Rimmed that one in and out. Fondau with a couple points in the first half.
You always hate that, towards you're getting to the end of the season, getting to section time and playoff time, and you don't want injuries right now, and that's always a little scary when that happens. Yeah,
especially in practice and whatnot, as Fondau goes 1 for 2 from the charity stripe. And again, the pressure ratcheted up from the Falcons. Dilly Starks turns it over. Baseline jumper, no good. Snatched down by Ella Larson. And then another, well, I was going to say another steal, near steal. They finally get it across the timeline. I like the look of Moss. I think she's a good player. She has been a 2-year point guard in talking to Coach Tim, so she's a competent backup point guard in place of Maya Stevens.
Yeah, and like he said, that she had to step into a role like that last year, so she's gotten the experience of stepping into it, and she's been a crucial person in their rotation. So stepping up tonight to run the point, kind of almost secondhand for her.
And it has to make a coach feel good when you've got a backup point guard you can trust.
Exactly, and you know that they'll go out, they know what they're running.
Good ball movement, finds Dilly Starks open on the baseline, and she hits a jumper, matching her first half total. 45-22, back to a 23-point lead.
They've been able to break the press, but I think that's one thing Coach says that you would probably think about. We got to work on that a little more. Try and break it a little quicker, a little more effectively.
Jump ball turns it, possession arrow turns it back over to the Falcons as Peyton Erickson comes in. Kind of going with a 8-player rotation tonight are the Falcons.
Well, and when you want to press like that and run, you really need to be able to have some depth on your team also. But I think that's one of the things Washburn is, the speed of what Armstrong's trying to do has been a challenge for Washburn too.
Fisher's 3 is long. McGowan there for the rebound. Gives it back to Fisher. Great basket cut, and she lays it in. She's got 24.
She did a great job of making that move and splitting through the 2 defenders to get up and make the score.
47-22. Largest lead of the game at 25. Just the instincts to go and make herself available, and McGowan with the unselfishness to give her the basketball. Moss wants a 3 and hits. Olivia Moss has all 5 of Washburn's points here in the second half. Underneath from McGowan, quickly doubled, kicks it out. Fondau drives and lays it in.
That was a nice decision by Fondau. I was wondering if she was going to take the shot out, but she saw she had a wide open drive to the bucket and took the easy 2. A nice steal by McGowan.
McGowan trying to go coast to coast, misses the layup. Had it knocked out of her hands by Fisher, and Washburn steals it back. Jorgensen, a nice first half, matching her season average with 7. Ordaz crosses over and has it stolen. McGowan again. Up ahead, Erickson, who lays it in, draws the contact, and she'll go to the line for an and 1 opportunity.
I like seeing this with Fisher here, what she's doing when she gets this, when she makes that shot, but when she comes back down too.
Yep, as you
there's
see.
There's that split.
Yep, and right there for McGowan to find, and then transition opportunities Foul whistled on Ella Larson.
And that's what I like when I'm watching what Armstrong's doing right now. When they get a steal or they start to transition, that person with the ball has their eyes up looking. Do I have somebody ahead I can dump the ball to that's got an easy one?
Swung near side for Moss. 51-25, down low, and McGowan's just picked up her 4th foul, hacking Charlotte Percy, who made herself available on the low block.
I think she knows what she did too. You can just see by the expression on her face. She was up, but if she wouldn't have come down over her, she'd have been okay. She probably still could have blocked it because she had that height advantage.
So that's going to have Jade Peterson re-entering the ball game. 13:53 left as Percy misses the first. And obviously with a lead like this, probably not the end of the world, but certainly they're going to need McGowan to stay out of foul trouble in the playoffs to come.
Right, and actually it's giving her backup good minutes right now. Get in here and know, and like you said, hopefully she doesn't get herself in that position as playoffs begins.
Fisher to Fisher, swung far side. Fondow. Karlee Fisher, great strength to rip through and then lay it in. She wants that season high. She's 3 points shy of it now with 26. And a foul, meanwhile, on the wing here by Peyton Erickson. Erickson's first personal as a timeout is taken on the floor by Washburn, or by Washburn. It's a full timeout as Justin Tim talks things over with his charges. 53-25 our score. As we look at the Northwest Suburban Conference standings, and Maple Grove looks to be a force, obviously going through conference play at 15-0, traditional powerhouse Elk River up there. Centennial always good with the likes of Marissa Frost leading the way, but you just look at the depth. That's the one thing about the NWSC, and certainly Coach Sorensen, you know better than most, the depth in girls basketball is just pretty unmatched.
You know, that's a tough conference to play in, and there's always top-down challenge. You know, you think someone's going to come in and win, and somebody else is stepping up.
No question about it. Spring Lake Park and Armstrong tied in conference play. Those two played earlier this season as McGowan sits with 4 fouls.
You know, when you look at Maple Grove, like we were talking earlier, their 3 losses are from top teams in the top 10 in the state. They have a good team, and they're playing some tough opponents outside of conference play also.
And you said that what separates them is just the depth, the amount of quality they have top to bottom.
Well, and they have very talented players too. I mean, they've got Click that's going to the U. They've got their junior, is she now? Or sophomore still. And she's getting lots of looks. They got a lot of people being looked at.
Moss fouled by Fisher as she read that play well, and Olivia Moss has really been a standout here in the second half. 5 points and that steal. First foul whistled on Karlee Fisher. She's had a pretty flawless game otherwise as Melena Dilly-Starks returns. Both benches continue to make some noise. And a nice idea, but just a little bit hard from Percy. So it turns back over to the Falcons.
You know, they were patient on that one also, too, and that's what Coach says. Want to get good looks, move the ball, and just like I said, it was just a little too high for the person she was trying to feed.
Dilly-Starks into the lane, out for Fisher. He's got 2 threes today. Great ball movement by Armstrong leads to a 3 for Fisher, Karlee Fisher. Too strong. 28 points, the largest lead of the game for the Falcons with inside of 12 and a half minutes to play. Good ball movement here by Washburn, but it finds its way into the hands of Karlee Fisher. Bounce pass up ahead for Dilly Starks, who draws the foul, takes the bump, and gets the bucket.
She did a great job coming down off that feed from Fisher, and she just nice underhand layup up out there and then drew the foul.
Great bounce pass ahead by Fisher, and for Percy, that's personal foul number 3 as Dilly Starks with 4 in this second half, looking to add. You look up at the scoreboard, 6 apiece for Fisher and Dilly Starks and Peyton Erickson. So very balanced effort outside of the 26 from Karlee Fisher as the three-point play is completed, and it's a 56-25 lead.
Now, if you're Washburn, you know it's tough. You know you're playing against a team that's going to be tough to come back in. But what you want to do is clean up some things, try and get some good possessions, have some more confidence offensively, but then continue to build on your defensive play.
Whipped cross court for Jorgensen, and she has it taken away. Got into the lane, but then just kind of lost her bearings, and then takes it right back from Fisher. Jorgensen on the other end missed the layup. So a pair of steals back to back, but no points. Trying to get Peterson down low, and the foul on the block whistled on Margaret Mecke. Washburn, as we said, has had some tough luck recently, falling by 5 points or less. Beautiful bounce pass underneath, and it's laid in by Dilly Starks, who continues her torrid second half. She's got 7, and it's up to a 33-point lead.
You know, you see them, like you said, ooh, another steal here.
Indeed, Jones knocked away from behind by Jorgensen, though, is playing some inspired defense in the second half. Now she's trapped up by the timeline, and Coach Tim wisely took a 20-second timeout.
Yeah, nice time.
But yeah, I mean, Washburn coming off in late January a 40-point win over Edison, a 20-point win over Apple Valley, and then they lose by 4 to Southwest, 2 to South, and 5 to Minneapolis Henry.
You know, and those are things, everybody says you don't like moral victories, but you also have to look. You got a lot of freshmen that are playing. You maybe lost those games, but, fewer than 5 points. You're in the game, you're playing, you're giving yourself an opportunity to win the game. And that's what you want to do. Put yourself in there with a chance to win the game. And this is the perfect, like Coach Antoine said, he said, this half, let's finish some at the rim. Let's work on some of our plays. Let's clean them up and finish some things. And that's a perfect thing to keep trying to do and working on, because their defense is being very effective.
Yeah, just a little more clinical with their finishing around the rim, a little more efficient. And I'd say they've done that so far. I have not noticed as many missed layups as they had maybe in the first 5 minutes, and that could just be it's a Monday night non-conference game, and it takes a little while to get in rhythm.
Yeah, that could be too.
Bounced on the block for Jorgensen. Hounded out there by Jones, and finally a little too aggressively, Jones commits the personal.
Get a little wide there with the knee, and they catch the knee.
But Reese Jorgensen's been a bright spot, at least defensively, in this second half. Moss gets a step, layup, no good. Pushed ahead by Fisher. Dilly Starks snags that errant pass. Now we are seeing some of the backups in, some of the main starters out. Opportunity here for kids to get valuable minutes in real games.
It's so important because you never know when somebody might need a sub for some reason, and the more experience you have in a game like this, the more comfortable you be in a different situation too.
Great little give and go from Fisher to Lauren Jones, who is cutting. She's got 4, and it's up to a 35-point lead. Layup missed close, and now it seems like it's Washburn that's the one that's missing the layups in close. Three-pointer from the right wing is off the mark. Jorgensen will let it go out of bounds on the far side. Sorry, go ahead, Pat.
No, I was going to say you're right. Washburn's getting shots they want. They're getting some little ones in there. They just can't get them to drop.
That could be fatigue. You have to imagine that Moss and Jorgensen are probably playing more minutes than they may be accustomed to. The bench a little thinner with Maya Stevens out. Broke her nose in Tuesday's game. Nice little give and go there, though, and Ordaz lays it in. Pass underneath. Peterson misses the bunny, grabs the rebound, and sticks it back. First time in the game, by the way, for Muntaha Mohammed, number 12. Jade Peterson doing a nice job sticking with it, and then a foul on Emily Fisher reaching over for Ordaz. But you see that little give and go, and Moss finding a cutting Ordaz.
So they have built on things, and that's what Coach is pleased with, what they've been able to accomplish and where this will take them as far as building at the rest of the season, but where it will take them for to start next year too.
(62-27), the 35-point lead means that we're in running time as a three-pointer in and out for Emily Fisher. Ordaz tracks down the rebound. So 8 minutes left, and it will be 8 minutes. Off of the knee of Ordaz, off the knee of Callan Hartney, senior. And all she can do is laugh about it. And that's ultimately what you want to see, right? Coach smiles and just the kids having fun, regardless of the score.
Right, and I think they have to let mistakes know that they're going to and that was, you're both battling for the ball. It's going to go off someone. But what are you going to take from this? What are you going to learn? What are you going to use to improve on your game for next time? What can I do to get better the next practice than the next game?
Tamia Dillard out there for the first time for Robbinsdale Armstrong. That shot no good. Good rebound underneath by Ella Cooley, the 8th grader, and Dillard draws, or rather that's, Emily Fisher, who draws the personal, and so she'll go to the line looking for her first points of the second half. Mohammed called for the foul. And I think the running clock rule is ultimately probably a very good one.
I do. It's hard when you're on the receiving end of that if it's, a game, but, it's also good for both teams to not just, when you're that overpowered, to not have to continue to.
Yeah, at some point enough is enough, Fisher 0 for 1. Now she drains it. She has 7 in the game. And I'm not sure Karlee Fisher, even though it seemed like a formality, she's not going to reach that season high. It'll be 26 for her. Intercepted, picked off, well read there by Dillard. Euro stepping her way, doesn't finish the lefty layup. And it's knocked out of play. It'll go back to Washburn. More substitutions into the game now. Mac Person and Anna Smelzer, 8th grader and sophomore. And the steals just continue for Armstrong.
And here's what you were talking about before, too, about senior leadership or your veteran players. And they've got their kids that don't get in a lot are in right now. And you watching these kids that were starters, they're jumping up and cheering for their teammates when they make a good play, and they're encouraging them and helping them out. That's what you want. That's what team play is, and that's how you get your team better together.
100%. 65-27 as good sportsmanship helping up Margaret Meckie. Tamia Dillard getting on the board, and exactly what you talked about. All her teammates leapt up, all the starters, and applauded her as Marin Wilson, 6-foot sophomore, into the game now for Armstrong, as well as Salma Muhammad, the sophomore, 5'5". Coaches taking opportunities to give bench players some minutes.
I think there was a little confusion. I don't think the two knew who it was for.
Kind of split them, yeah.
Yeah.
Unofficially, the 29th turnover. Actually, no. I shouldn't say it's a turnover because it'll stay down on this end with Washburn. They changed the call. So it's Miller's basketball. Clock continues to run as we near 4 minutes. Allie Mosley will have some post-game interviews with the victorious Falcons. Washburn, with the loss, will fall to 10-12 on the season. Very respectable .460 winning percentage in Justin Tim's first year. As it's trade a couple steals. In the middle, off the mark. Percy holds on to it, tied up. And you have to respect the hustle of the kids, whether they're starters, bench players, whoever, but they very much are not giving ground as Percy walks to the other end to shoot free throws, as the Washburn's now in the 1-1.
Well, exactly. You've been on the bench, and you want to show coaches that you're in the game, you know what's going. You got to hustle. Play D and hustle, and that's what's going to get you some more looks.
Brianna Dumas checks in to replace Dillard. And for Washburn, Rama Mohammed set to check in. Percy getting set to shoot the 1-1. Off the mark. And then turned over. Nice idea to push the ball ahead. But for Armstrong, what are the prospects, Coach, do you think, for them in section play coming up? And does it seem like maybe they've turned a corner and with that kind of defense and transition offense they've been able to install?
Well, I think they like what they've seen, and they're working on getting there. I know they play in a very tough section too, so there's no night off really, and it's just like getting better. And everybody's got to realize once section goes around, your records are 0-0 again, you know. So wants to see them continue to get more consistent and get better that way, and see what happens once that time rolls around for section plays.
And you never know. I mean, a player like Savannah McGowan with Karlee Fisher chipping in, you know, it can carry a team far.
When you add the rest of that supporting cast around them, you know, with the rest of the starters and the kids coming off the bench, they have some talented players there. And if they put it all together, they could be dangerous too.
Yeah, capable certainly of springing a first-round upset. Obviously in a tough section, as McPherson will have the second free throw here. Washburn, I mean, I know it's running clock, but Washburn held to 7 points so far in the second half. It's 67-27, a 40-point lead opened up by Armstrong. And this 1-1 just might do it here with just 45 seconds left. Meanwhile, Robbinsdale Armstrong, like we said, going to improve to 9-13 on the season. Offensive rebound by Muhammad. Percy off the mark. Backed out to Percy on high. 14 seconds left. Armstrong grabs the rebound. And you have to imagine they'll dribble out the clock. Oh, we got a steal. Last second shot. Good if it goes, but it doesn't. So this one ends. Armstrong, 67-27 victors over Minneapolis Washburn here at home on this Monday night. Patty Sorensen, your thoughts on what we just witnessed tonight?
Well, you did see that Armstrong was the more depth team, the quicker team, and their program's been around. There's been the consistency there. And if you're Washburn, you're hoping to find some good takeaways to continue to build on your program. But good win for Armstrong, and wishing them lots of luck as they progress the rest of their season, and the same thing to Washburn.
Yeah, Washburn will try to claw back and get back to 500 on the season, as they will go to Minneapolis Roosevelt and then host Minneapolis North. Meanwhile, Robbinsdale Armstrong will visit Osseo and then host your former school, Park Center, here.
There you go.
In a week. As we throw it down on the sidelines to our sideline reporter, Allie Mosley. Allie?
And who else would we have, Bill, than Karlee Fisher? Karlee, such a dominant performance tonight by your team. What was working so well?
I think it was just the energy before the game, knowing it's a section opponent, so we had to get after it, and playing defensively and leading it to my offense.
No one was more dominant on this court tonight than you. What went into your performance that allowed you to just be so effective?
I think just focusing on like little steps at a time, just picking them off like that.
Do you even know how many steals you had tonight? I think I ran out of room on my notebook. What did that feel like tonight to kind of have that defensive spark and just come out and be so great in that aspect?
I think it was good. My coach always gets on me about my defense, so I know this was a game that I needed to focus on that the most, and it just led into my offense.
4 regular season games left for you guys. What kind of confidence and energy does this give your team as you get ready for playoffs?
I think it really means that we have to lock in and do what we have to do in practice and lead it to the games, and hopefully the outcome comes out good.
Very impressive performance by you and the team tonight. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Bill and Patty.
Thanks, Allie. Thanks to Karlee for joining us. Her 26 points and 8 steals lead the way for Armstrong tonight as they defend their home court with a 67-27 win over Washburn. So that'll do it for us here in Plymouth. For our director, Isaac Rice, for my broadcast partners, Allie Mosley and Patty Sorensen, I'm Bill Hupp saying good night from Armstrong High School, where the Falcons defeat the Millers 67-27. Thanks for watching this presentation of high school basketball on CCX Sports.